Shalom. Call halal Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Waha, Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to Yaki and pushing His word and truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. This is Amathia from the GMS Dallas Camp, and wanted to go into a quick lesson. Lord willing, this will be edifying. All right. And I wanted to go into this video here, and I wanted to entitle this lesson, The End of the Economic System of Babylon the Great will cause many great misery, or something to that effect, because the end of Babylon the Great is at hand. And they're going to utilize this collapse of this economic system is for breaking into what? The MOT to the B. If you know what that is. And you know it's something that Esau's want to keep from you to knowledge right now, because he want to spring it upon you, and it's going to get to a point where it will be no way around it unless you have that spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai and that faith, or if not, you're going to be falling into what? Being acceptable to receiving that chip. Only thing that will get you out of this is the faith and the belief of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. All right. So I want to go ahead and play this video, and we'll get a few scriptures. Lord willing, this will be edifying.
By the Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen. Madam Secretary, thanks for joining us this morning. Let's start out with the timeline now of this possible default. You said earlier this week that you expect that it could come as early as June 1st. I know you get new information every day. Is that still your best estimate?
Yes, early June is when we project that we will run out of cash, and there is a chance it could be as early as June 1st. Of course, there is a lot of uncertainty, and I plan to update Congress as new information becomes available, but that's still our current thinking.
Are there extraordinary measures you can take around that time, or is that it?
Well, really, that's it. We've been using extraordinary measures for several months now, and our ability to do that is running out, and we will start to run down our cash. And our current projection is that in early June, a day will come when we're unable to pay our bills unless Congress raises the debt ceiling. And it's something I strongly urge Congress to do. Of course, it's appropriate to have negotiations about the budget, about spending priorities. President Biden has presented a detailed budget that does cut deficits by $3 trillion over 10 years while investing in the strength of the American economy. But we do need to raise the debt ceiling to avoid economic calamity.
Paint a picture for everyone. What happens on that day? Let's assume for the sake of argument it's June 1st. What happens that day if the debt limit has not been extended?
Well, Treasury finds itself in a position where we're unable to pay all of the bills that come due that day. And this would be really the first time in the history of America that we would fail to make payments that are due. And, whether it's defaulting on interest payments that are due on the debt, or payments due for Social Security recipients, or to Medicare providers, we would simply not have enough cash to meet all of our obligations. And it's widely agreed that financial and economic chaos would ensue. U.S. Treasury securities are the safest bedrock security underlying the global financial system. A failure of the United States to honor all of its debt would call into question our credit worthiness. Even as we get very close to this date, if Congress doesn't act, we're likely to see financial market consequences. In 2011, there was a steep decline.
Hey, and what did she say? It's going to be financial and economic calamity if they do not raise the debt ceiling. Now, we know this has happened before. But like I say, we're in the time of kind of like the unknown. That's why we have to go off of prophecy to see what's happening. All right, because we don't know the day or the time when the Lord is really just going to cause this to happen. But as it says in Second Ezra 9, we measure the time diligently in itself. So when we look at the times that we are in itself, these are the times that we see that anything can happen as far as a collapse, World War III, all right, pure chaos. All this is the time that we're in, all right. And like she said, it could be calamity, all right. So this is Matthew 24 and verse 12. It says, "And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold." Now, when you go into that word wax cold, it goes into what? Psycho. All right. That's what it goes into. To breathe, blow, cool, or blowing, to be made or grow cool or cold. Warning love, but we know what a psycho is. That is what's going to happen. The love of many is going to wax cold. All right. And verse 13, it says, "But he that shall endure unto the end shall be saved." Because with all the calamity and all the chaos that's going to happen, and she just mentioned, it's going to cause people to bug out. If you don't have no money to pay your bills, you're getting evicted. All these things that Esau has set up for the downfall of the money system. You're gonna have people out in the streets trying to do whatever they can to survive. All right, they're gonna do whatever they can to survive. You're gonna have sedition amongst men. That's gonna happen right there. All this is gonna happen, and it's gonna happen in our lifetime. All right. How do we know? Another thing, how we know? Verse 14, "And this gospel and the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come." And this gospel is being preached throughout the whole world. All right. When has this gospel been preached throughout the four corners of the earth? Right. When has this gospel been preached throughout the four corners of the earth? All right. The known world at the time when Yahweh Shah was here, when the different when our like I say, our different prophets, our different forefathers, the prophets was on the scenes. It was a lot on the eastern the eastern hemisphere. But now, through by way of the unicorn, by way of the internet, you see the gospel being preached all over the world. Then shall the end come. So we're measuring at a time knowing that, seeing this right here, this prophecy that was spoken about and is all read, is by Yahweh Shah. We see that the end is here. So when you look at that, chaos is coming about. Chaos is coming about. You know what? I was going to read that. Let me read a little more of this as well. All right. I'm going to go on down and I'm going to jump to verse 21. It says, "For then shall great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world at this time, nor shall never be." And that's why I said in Daniel 12, at that time, Michael shall stand up, because there's going to be great tribulation, such was not since the beginning of the world to this time. That's why Michael's going to have to stand up. It's going to have to be divine intervention. That's what's coming to the world. A lot of chaos. And we know this is all Esau's plan. This is Esau's plan that's coming about. All right. And we know if we don't receive the Lord and he don't come deliver us, it will be no flesh saved. All right. And there it goes in verse 22. Verse 22, Matthew 24 and 22. Except those days should be shortened, there should be no flesh saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. You can hardly keep up with days now. We just have started in 2023. Now we're halfway through this year. Soon you look up, wake up on a Monday, and then next thing you know, you look up again. It's Sunday, it's Saturday, almost Monday again. Time is constantly flying. I think last year it was we had one of the fastest days in history. So just let that sink in. The people are like, well, that probably was number few seconds or something like that. But regardless, that's letting you know the Lord is speeding up these times. All these signs and wonders that are happening, all these things coming into play. Oh yeah, we're at this time. We're at the end, and Esau is doing whatever he do to perform his enterprise, but the Lord is going to stop it. All right, the Lord is going to stop it. All right, so and I'm gonna get something else here. This is before I get this, I want to jump on to something else. This is Sirach 12 and verse 3. It say, no, don't look for the right one. Slakia. I'm thinking of Ecclesiastes 12 and 3. This is Ecclesiastes 12 and 3. It says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few, and those that are look out of the windows are darkened. All right, and the grinding is ceasing. You have when traveling home here, when we leaving camp or when we just traveling home, it's actually a McDonald's here that is basically ran by maybe just one or two, three people, because it is one of the first robotic McDonald's. So everything in there is, you have AI that's cooking the food, delivering the food for you. You know what I'm saying? I had one of the brothers, Osma Wafi, pointed it out to me. He was like, yeah, that was on the news. That's McDonald's right there. And that's what we're going to see. All right. And all these different, all these damn, look at the retail apocalypse is still going on. Just look at all these all these stores that are still closing. Walmart is closing a lot of stores. All right. You have a lot of Targets, a lot of different stores that are closing down. All right. Some are basically closing where it won't be anymore. I think it was like Bed Bath Beyond or one of these women's stores, which all these women's men are like the same, because all of them shop at these stores. Bed Bath Beyond or Body Works or whatever they call. But one of them, I think they're going to close majority, if not all, the stores. So this grinding is starting to cease. Verse 4, it says, and the doors shall be shut in the streets. We saw a lot of that during the pandemic. A lot of the stores were closed. A lot of things like that. There's where we preach, it was this big old like bar or club, 2 stories. It seemed like it was pretty lucrative because there would be people there, music playing loud. After 2020, it closed. Haven't seen it. It ain't been open since. It's just big ass building. You're gonna see that a lot more. All right. The moms and pop stores will be through once this hits again. And Esau is finna set up for another uh, uh, pandemic. You know this coming. All right. So the doors is gonna be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. It's the mirth in the street is going to be closed out. It's going to be shut down. All this is about to be done away with. All right. Even these even these men that run these companies, you know what I'm saying? Because like you say, you have men that are millionaires and things like that, but they're not nowhere near what the elites are doing. You got to think, when chaos really hits the street, these elites are going to be up in the underground bunkers, up in these space stations. So they're preparing for this. But these regular old Joe Blow millionaires, as you can call them now, they're going to be suffering. Because you got to think, when companies close, they ain't making no money. This is James here. Bear with me. Yeah. This is James 5 and 1. It says, go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come up upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and you shall and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasure together for the last days. So this is the end for all these people that live in lavish and relaxed and all good. It's going to be turmoil in the streets. That's why I like that scene with that last Batman. I think it's Batman with when he had Bane on there, and it was in New York, and they was in front of this rich lavish hotel, and you had that white man, that Edomite, walking around looking all confused, and all the stuff was in the streets, and they was pulling these people and throwing them out. Those are the rich ones. They're going to weep and howl in these days that are coming. They're going to weep and howl in these days that are coming. And if you don't believe me, just listen to who just spoke all that. All right, this lady right here, Janet Yellen. Now, some will say, well, who is Janet Yellen? Because a lot of Jake, they don't be paying attention to this. Janet Yellen is the Secretary of Treasury. And I'm going to read this. It says they're responsible for formulating and recommending domestic and international financial, economic, and tax policy, participating in the formulation of broad fiscal policies that have general significance for the economy. General significance, all right, for the economy. So it's very significant that she bring this out because it is significant information that she's bringing out. And managing public debt, all right, and you say like their duties, like she's like a government accounting, cash and debt management. All right. Also, it says promulgation. Now, when you go into see what promulgation is, it says to make known or public, to put as a regulation into effect. All right. So she's making known what's going to come into effect. This is what's coming. She's about to make known, all right, and enforce tax and tariff laws, assessment and collection of the internal affairs, production of coin and currency. So she's letting you know the production of coins and currencies are about to cease. That's why they're setting up for these CBDCs, because this stuff's going to come to naught, all right. And that's like I say with Esau, he's going to bring that order app KO. That's what's coming. The order app KO. All right. Order and chaos. All right. So with that, I would give all praise and glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Waha, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to Yakim pushing his word in truth and sincerity. Shalom.